and welcome. My name is Evgeny Rusakov and you're watching TVP World, interview from Vilnius. It has already been more than 1,000 days of war in Ukraine. Some Western countries have again started discussing the possibility of sending their troops or PMCs to Ukraine, while Russian troops prepare for an offensive on the city of Zaporizhzhia. To discuss the course of war in Ukraine, we are joined today by the retired colonel from the Association of Colonels and Team Europe Direct expert, Vaidotas Malinionis. Hello, Vaidotas, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
So, first of all, situation on the battlefield. How does it look like right now?
Okay, so generally talking, right now Ukraine is it's an initiative is in Russian hands, of course.
So not in the best shape.
Especially if we are looking at Donbas region, yes. Because Russian forces are achieving, tactical gains, especially in northern Donetsk, yes. And of course, those gains, if in favorable conditions will be after them, they also can inflict some operational gains or operational losses for Ukraine. Plus, their forces also approached Zaporizhzhia city, which is also very strategic, operationally important and strategically important city. But right now, we cannot say that Russians will succeed because there's still a lot of work we have to do. And also Kursk region forced them to allocate forces from that direction. I'm talking about, Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia,
exactly, yes.
to Kursk. So that's eased for Ukrainians to, battle conditions in Donbas region. And in Kursk region, it's still they are holding firm their positions. Of course, they lost some territories what initially they gained, but anyway, it's still a headache for Russia. And especially keeping in mind that right now Ukraine can strike inside of Russia with Western guns and weapons. So Storm Shadow rockets, yes, ATACMS.
Yes.
Yes, and that also can, it will not bring, immediate effect, but
and that's my next question.
Yeah, but after maybe 2-3 weeks, it can, Ukraine forces can feel that effect. But generally talking, Russia is having initiative. And stabilization is not, stabilization on front line is not done yet. So in order to do that, Ukrainians must need to get much bigger Western support. And generally talking, we are losing actually, West and Ukraine. We are on the losing path. And maybe next couple months can be very crucial, yes.
Okay, so regarding those ATACMS missiles that you've already mentioned, so the White House really has recently confirmed that it had given Ukraine a permission to strike with those missiles. So in general, how would that change the course of war? Again, taking into account that Biden's administration hasn't much time left. And again, you said 2-3 weeks or a couple of months. So do Ukrainians have enough time to change this course of war?
Well, Biden's administration, we can say that they've done already lots of mistakes by the providing not enough, ammunition and with all restrictions. Finally, Ukraine got permission to strike inside of Russia. And we know that Ukrainians striked successfully, oil refinery facilities. Also, they blow up command post. And they even was information that one North Korean general was injured, and also 18 other officers, Russian officers, were killed or injured. So this is very successful. and plus we also attacking, you know, other important infrastructure and logistical hubs, so that can ease, you know, situation. But nevertheless, we should understand that in order, you know, to make a difference, to turn tide back, Ukrainians need very significant support. Plus, Ukrainians also need to reorganize their, you know, drafting or using of their reserves for the support of their life personnel, you know, rotation, because this is also very important, and Ukrainians are struggling also to mobilize their own population, you know.
Okay, according to Kremlin's officials, Trump's circle talks about peace in a different way than the Biden's administration. So which key factors could you stress out in Trump's circle rhetoric, and how good does that all look for Ukraine or Russia?
We only know that Trump's administration would like to immediately stop the war, yes.
But for some reason they still didn't do that.
One promise which Trump already promised, that after he was elected, he will stop war in 24 hours, didn't happen.
Exactly,
of course, nobody expected that, of course, to happen. But now, according to Trump's office, idea is that Russia and Ukraine will be forced to stop and to start negotiations.
And to freeze the front line and all that stuff.
First of all, if Ukrainian will not start negotiations, the United States will stop the support. And that
will make Ukraine start negotiations.
Yes. And if Russia is not willing to negotiate, then the United States will provide support for Ukraine.
Okay.
So this is their approach. But we don't know, you know, the outcome of that approach. And of course, those 2 months before Trump administration will take over the country is important. And of course, for Ukraine is very vitally important not to lose more ground, to withhold at least what we have, to stabilize it, plus of course withhold, you know, Kursk region. So that's also a good currency for negotiations.
Let's move on. According to Reuters, North Korea is expanding a factory where KN-23 ballistic missiles are assembled. So Russia is using them against Ukraine. So what are those KN-23 ballistic missiles, and how effective are they?
Well, it's actually very similar missiles as Iskander Russian made. They probably copied it. Copy-pasted. And those are ground-launched missiles. They are capable to deliver approximately 500 kilograms of TNT, which is huge explosive capability. And also they can travel from the launch pad up to 690 kilometers in deep. So which is pretty significant. That's and Western missiles, you know, we can launch. We can also they only can fly 300 kilometers.
So in this way, this wise, Russia has some advantage.
They have. But that's the reason it is very important, you know, for Ukraine to support Ukraine with F-16s, yes, fighter jets, because fighter jets are very universal machines and they can help them to mitigate those threats that are coming. Plus, we can see that ally of Russia, North Korea, China, and Iran, they are, so to say, very seriously looks at this situation, and they are supporting Russia a lot, contrary to the Western countries, which is amazingly, you know, we are amazingly negligent to their threats.
Which has loads of ways to improve, to be honest.
Yes, although West is, of course, much richer countries, but somehow we in
they
the
don't
West,
want to share, maybe.
In the West, we don't have political will, you know, to support enough. and every day of war will the price will be higher and higher and higher. So war is a very
expensive thing.
Expensive business. Yes.
I do understand. Yes. Okay. Again, coming back to those ballistic missiles, and I cannot leave without mentioning here the Russian Oreshnik ballistic missile. So, what about that specific weapon, and how dangerous is it? And what's your take on that recent missile strike when Russia used that type of missile?
First of all, I would like to point out that it's still not clear what kind of missile is there, because Ukrainian side is doing investigation. Yes,
so it's not clear yet if that was really Oreshnik.
It's not clear.
Okay.
Yes, it's not 100% clear. But initially, you know, it was information by a Ukrainian source that it was intercontinental mission.
That's right.
Missile, which is sort to say message for the West. Yes. And that was, which could be a message for the West, because that missile was launched immediately after Ukrainian side struck inside of Russia with Western missiles, ATACMS and Storm Shadow, and that normally that missile is supplied by nuclear warhead. But in this case, it was supplied. It wasn't. Yes, it was supplied by
if it was Oreshnik,
yes.
so that was a simple demonstration of what Russia can do.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. But you know, if it was an Oreshnik, it is also a prototype. You know, I don't think the Russians are capable, you know, to organize mass production of something very new, because we know, we have knowledge that their innovations failed. To mention, you know, Satan, you know, the missile which unsuccessfully was launched in Russia in a couple months ago. So this is also, you know, needs to be proved. But anyway, it was a message to the West, not to Ukraine, because they can attack Ukrainian, you know, ground not using such missiles. They can use Iskander, or they can use, you know, other types. So to deliver, you know, conventional ammunition, conventional explosives. But that was a message for the West.
And how should the West reply, briefly?
Support Ukraine. I don't think West should, you know, back off
and hesitate.
They should take initiative, not only, you know, in supplying weapons, but also with messaging, and also with because Putin feels, you know, then West is weak. And he uses that for the momentum and escalates situation even more. So in order to stop escalation, we should, you know, be more proactive, send messages, and actually to remind Putin that maybe I would you know, illustrate by one example. There is a Ilf and Petrov, you know, there is
12 chairs or golden calf. That's right.
Yes, and in golden calf, Ostap Bender said that a man, you know, should be familiarized with the idea that he will lose his money slowly, so not immediately. So,
yes, exactly.
So Western approach should be, you know, that Putin should be familiarized with the idea he will lose all gains what he got in Ukraine, including Crimea. So, and then not immediately, but step by step. But he should know that. So that should be Western approach. We should make Putin comfortable.
Uncomfortable, I guess.
Very fast and you know, unexpected outcome is uncomfortable, but slow is comfortable.
But I'd say that those who haven't read that book should read that book, because it's a good one.
Yeah, our Western colleagues should read that. Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely.
Okay, Vaidotas, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for your in-depth analysis. I hope to see you once again.
Thank you.
And I would like to remind our viewers that our guest for today was a colonel from the Association of Colonels and Team Europe Direct expert, Vaidotas Malinionis. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us.